Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Arl from Arl House. And if you caught my last and very first video, it was all about the uncrating and pickup of two of these. They are my Shanding 012, can I say that correctly? Zero swing tail 1.2 ton excavators from China. My goal today is to just kind of show you around what I think on the overview and maybe take care of a few maintenance items. Kind of talk about what I see as far as what I like and maybe not quite so much, or little things that need improving. So to start off with, I think you could see in that first video everything was pretty well packaged. You could see they packaged some of the more delicate stuff, or maybe not delicate, but stuff they wanted to make sure was not damaged during shipment with these cloths. This here is the ROPS. Down here I've got the jackhammer breaker. I've got the auger, the ripper down there. The wide shovel with no teeth. And then I've got the others in the bucket actually of my tractor just to move them around. So I think everything was packaged real well. So anyway, first impressions, I like the design of it. I mean, we're being honest here, this is very close to a U10 clone from Kubota. In fact, it's powered by the same engine, the 722. This has got the retractable tracks. They go in and out. And I'll show you some of the features that I think make this a little bit more of a premium model or choice over your typical Chinese imports. What I like here is we got the integrated counterbalance weight back there. What I particularly like with the travel motors is that they're shielded and covered back here, and the hoses are protected with, I guess you'd call that steel braiding, and the motors are tucked in right over there. So I think that'll make a bit of a difference with potential damage. I like the control layout. We've got pilot controls here and on the other side, and they are true pilot controls. You got your armrests right here and there. And one thing I really like about this that I don't think I've seen on any other of the 1.2 tons, or the 1 tons I should say, is the digital instrumentation. Now I did realize that for whatever reason on this particular one out of the two, the float is probably stuck. So this is your fuel right there. Yeah, and I just filled it up, so it's not registering. I'm gonna have to probably get that, or will get that freed up. But you do have your warning lights here. You've got your date, your voltage. See if it's going to cycle through anything else. I guess that's a clock. There is a hour meter on here somewhere. Let's see if this does anything. I still got to work my way through these, but I know there is an hour meter on here. And then over here you've got your temperature gauge. So I think that's kind of nice compared to what we normally see as far as the mechanical gauges, and I like the placement of it. I've seen some other models like the Ripa that have them mounted here, which is just closer to your knee. This here is your control for your bulldozer blade down here, which is extendable. And it also controls the tracks. Now, the way it does so is with a sliding lever over here. One way is tracks and the other way is blade. I don't remember which one is which, but I figure it out as I go. Here we've got your throttle. Turtle, hare, we all know what that means. And then up here, we've got your light switch and the 2 speeds for your travel. I tried it out briefly on the other one, and the higher speed for the travel is definitely pretty quick, almost probably too quick. And then lastly, we've got your track forward and reverse for both of them, as well as a sticker indicating that. So I think the layout's pretty good. I'm a pretty tall guy. I can fit more or less comfortably on this. You can see, as long as I don't kill myself getting on here. I'm on here pretty comfortably. I've got enough hip room right here. Now it gets a little bit tight with the pedals down here, but each of the pedals has got a little bit, I'll just kind of show you here, a little bit of an extension on the end of them. So for bigger feet like mine, you can kind of clip the pedal on the side and not really have to have it all the way, you have your foot all the way in. But otherwise it feels pretty comfortable up here. You know, I haven't done anything except for fooling around on the other one for a little bit. So, you know, after some real time in the saddle, I'll get a feel for that. And by the way, having 2 of them, which again, I got an extra one here because I thought I really wanted this model. I didn't see anything else out there like this, although I do realize now Ripa has one. There's some slight differences, but other than that, I haven't seen one. So I wound up with 2. The good thing with that is that one I'm going to put to work and show you all the working, while the other one, this one probably, I will be able to kind of dive deeper into while it's nice and clean to kind of get an idea of maybe some of the parts, you know, if we can take some panels apart and so forth to figure out what basically, or what this is composed of as far as pumps and so forth and so on. So anyway, we've got the latch here for the access to the engine bay. Now, one of the things, again, you know, initial quality, my other one goes nice and smooth. This one took a little bit more, and that's actually while I've greased it. Not a big deal, but, you know, it shows a little bit of inconsistency. This whole thing then flips up, and then here we have the Kubota 722. You got your fan and radiator over there. You've got obviously your battery, water separator. This here, where I was pointing my finger, is the reservoir for the hydraulic tank. Down here is the fuel tank. Over here is where the fuel float is, so I'm going to have to work on that. And then you've got your pump over here. One of the things I'll be doing is changing out the oil. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this video or the next, but I'm going to do so. To put a Kubota filter on, Kubota oil in there, and just make sure it's good from the get-go. So I'll continue on with some of the things, other things I like, some of the things I think they did a really good job on. All of the hoses are tucked in through the arm. That's nice for protecting it. They have basically a protective cover on them as well. Would it be nice to have steel lines? Yes, but until I have a problem with these, I think we'll be okay. Now you also got your auxiliary hydraulics on both sides. It's you've got the connection here with the diverter valve for your auxiliary equipment, and the same thing here. One of the other things I noticed too, and you'll kind of see this throughout depending on the fasteners and so forth, is they did mark everything according to what they tested and how they tightened it. And I will say that one of the things I'm very pleased with compared to a lot of what else I see on the internet is that all the grease fittings are Zerks. So, and we have plenty of them. So starting here with the main cylinder, you have one there. You have one here on the swing cylinder. Then you've got down here for the hydraulic, or for the bulldozer blade cylinder. There is another one way back in there, and I know that because I greased it on the other machine yesterday. You've got one up here. Here, they all have little grease caps on them too. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. Here. 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 Another one tucked in for the thumb. And then you've got one here as well. And then all your pins. You got them in there, there, there. Here. And down here. Plus your swing motor, and I forget what the other one is for, but those two are there. Now the interesting thing is, will I get my grease gun in here? This looks like they put this panel here just a little on the high side, so I'm gonna have to see what the story is, if this has got to be bent slightly or loosened when I do it, or what. I'm a little annoyed with that, but again, this is, varying quality, I guess, from machine to machine. There you got your Shanding label, and that's pretty much all the maintenance points. One other thing that I'll mention that I really like, again, I thought this was pretty smart of them, is they put in a thumb stop right here, so you have to take that out in order to operate the thumb. And I've got to say that the thumb is pretty beefy compared to what I've seen. In another video, I'll take the measurements and I'll compare the measurements on the thumb, the blade, the buckets, and so forth with my Massey Ferguson tractor. Obviously I believe that to be a good quality. It's basically a rebadged Aseki tractor. Aseki's a reputable manufacturer over in Japan. So, it's a good comparison until I actually have another Mini X to compare against. So, now a couple of things that, not quite so thrilled with, but I guess they're kind of minor. And I've got fixes for that. These pedal covers come right off. So I've got some Permatex, like a silicone bond or something like that I'm going to use to get those on there permanently. While I like this was definitely never going to work. These are just little Velcro pieces. Let me get that back in there. My solution to that is this kit I got from eBay here for marine snaps. So I think I'm going to do is just make that so that it snaps in place so it will not move, and that way I'll be able to take it off to clean it when I need to, but I have it there as well. Let's see, some of the other things. Oil filter. Although it's a non-starter because I'm going to be replacing it with a Kubota filter, which is the correct size and a bit bigger. I kind of found these vents, you know, they look good from the outside, and I know it really doesn't matter that much, but, you know, I just took mesh basically and welded it in here. You know, we'll see how that stands up, and we'll just see how it goes. I like the fact that they have heat shield. I don't know how thick it is, but we'll see as I sit on it whether or not it keeps the heat from traveling out. And kind of find the foam padding here for the radiator a little chintzy. I think they could have done something better on that than just double foam it. And we'll see whether that needs to be done again or what we're going to do there. So, lastly, the ROPS. Now, the ROPS attaches here, and I know in the last video I said that the ROPS was foldable. It isn't. Although I still have this one covered, basically you'll see it on the other machine. But you've got the tubing which slides in maybe about ½ an inch in here, and then it bolts to the side. This garage, it'll clear the garage door, but it will not clear the lower part of the entrance, which is why, you know, it was necessary for me to also have the folding ROPS on the Massey Ferguson. So I've ordered 8mm pins to place them in here. This way I can just simply unpin it, pull it off. So right over here, these are two of the things that came with the machine as well. Kind of neglected to mention before. This I used ChatGPT to translate, and basically it's a checklist. So they give you a checklist and go over everything to make sure that it's all ready before shipment. And you get this handy dandy little tool chest. For some reason they give you leather and tire wax, Kangaroo brand. I don't know if that means it comes from Australia or what, but I suppose that is for the seat. Spray paint, without spraying it, I'm gonna guess it is either orange or gray. But more importantly, you get the paperwork for the engine. You get the Kubota manual there. This little other pamphlet from Kubota. A screwdriver, which I probably won't use much. A pair of needle nose. This funnel. A little grease gun and some wrenches. And one more thing I'll say about the engine, and I know everybody wants to say, oh, maybe that's not really a Kubota engine, and they just rebadged it or from something else. That's the actual, one of the actual tags. You've got another one over there, and of course one over there. I was able to basically get that information and confirm that that serial number matches the actual engine, so kind of put that to rest. So it's a hybrid. Got a Japanese-Chinese hybrid here. We'll see if they both hold up equally. So if you like this content, please hit subscribe, and also let me know in the bottom what you'd like to see, you know, whether it's a video in more detail, what you'd like to see these machines do, you know, anything that I might not have spoken about already that might find interesting, because I'm willing to roll with it and kind of just see where things go. Take care for now.